I've been summoned. Kaka TB, farm his fake. What's going on? What's going on? Okay, so the main tweet is this. Hot Rod 521, Bry OPM, presumably a One Punch Man fan account. What real person actually watches an anime like this? Oh, we have a reactor getting cooked by Twitter. Ain't mentioned a single aspect of the fight itself beside the animation. No reaction to the fact that Flash just killed both monsters with one slice. The Flashy Flash was pretty cool, but is complaining about something even he can't describe. How are these people real? Oh. Well, before we go into this, we got to be delicate about this, right? We got to be careful. I don't know anything about this reactor. I'm sure it feels bad to get crucified like this and get 129,000 impressions farmed on you. And I'm sure the thread is probably even worse than that. So let's go in with an open mind and see exactly what this reaction was lacking. Here we go.
There's still something about this. Like the directory and these fucking... This is nice.
Okay.
This is nice.
Okay, he admits this is nice. This is where Flashy Flash is obviously catching the blade and about to do Flashy Slash. Okay.
There's still something about this. Like the directory and these fucking shots with these anime lines, bro. Nobody can.
Directory?
There's still something about this. Like the directory and these fucking
I think he's talking about direction, right? He's talking about the overall direction of the fight and
something about this. Like the directory and these fucking shots with these anime lines, bro.
What the fuck is an anime line? Are we talking about speed lines right now? Because what I think he's talking about the speed lines, because like here we see Flashy Flash cutting through Hellfire and, you know, the wind guy, and in the background you obviously see a bunch of blue-white streaks that's moving around to give the immersion of like, boom, things are happening, dynamic movement. So he's complaining, I think, about the overall direction, the speed lines, maybe dimming and blurring that's happening across these scenes that make it wonky.
Nice. There's still something about this. Like the directory and these fucking shots with these anime lines, bro. Nobody cares about that shit.
Nobody cares about this is a very polarizing reaction, because he immediately goes in saying this is nice when Flashy Flash catches the blade, then immediately says the directory is off, the direction is off, and then concludes that the directory and the anime lines, which is the direction and the speed lines, are ruining it for him. Therefore, no one cares about this shit. Now, let's think about this. Let's think about this. If I wanted to be a disingenuous, clout-chasing goblin, here's what I would say. I would say that this is a symptom of a bigger issue where the root cause is, of course, Nicholas Light. It's always one way or the other Nicholas Light's fault. That's right, guys. And we have to now disingenuously say this is a spawn of Nicholas Light's hate campaign in One Punch Man, and now reactors are nitpicking on things that they don't even completely understand to ride the bandwagon of negativity and crucify him. Yes, I would tag Nicholas Light right here. This is what I would do. I would tag Nicholas Light, not Nick Fuentes. Whoa. Nicholas Light TV, right? I would tag Nicholas Light TV and say, this is what you created. This is the result of your hate for One Punch Man. You killed Shinpei Nagai, and now you killed the reaction game on YouTube. Fake reactor. Fucking. Yep. That's what I would do. I think that this is probably one of the best ways to pour gasoline onto the fire. Create a problem that doesn't even exist. Drag bigger creators' name in, other content creators' name alike. Make myself look good, and then farm 5 more drama videos afterwards. If you don't know what Nick... I can't say this. Careful. It's Snickers, you know? It's Snickers. If you don't know this, you gotta go watch the other video where we talked about this shit. But I'm not a disingenuous clout chaser. I'm a genuine clout chaser. And here's my overall opinion about this. And actually, before I give my final take about this, let's read some of the comments just to see, like, what do people think, you know? Is this the guy that would nonstop talk about how he hates flashy lights even when it completely fits the context? I don't know. I think, like, again, I don't know who this guy is, and I'm not trying to say like, oh my god, look at me, I'm a big reaction channel. This guy could have a bigger reaction channel than me. I got no fucking clue, but it seems like some people are aware of this guy, right? Motherfuckers really got to start watching this video to understand this shit, and easy this is kind of explaining the animation industry stuff. Hate bandwagon. Bro trying hard to sustain his YouTube career. I mean, yeah, it could seem like that, right? It definitely could seem that like this guy is really picking such insignificant things that he doesn't even know how to contextualize, and it's coming off like a hate bandwagon. I think that people really underestimate, though, how difficult it is to actually present your thoughts during a reaction, especially during like Sakuga moments. Like, I'm not trying to say that like I do it the best, but the way that I pause after watching a segment and give my thought process, on top of that, I'd like to think that I'm a very verbose, well-spoken person who's able to present my ideas in a clear, concise way. You know, it does take skill. You think that it's just yapping, you think it's just watching anime and just posting it online. It is, to an extent, but you can say that about anything like basketball. Just put the fucking ball in the hoop, bro. What's so hard? Why aren't you LeBron James, right? So there is a skill level there, and during something like this, it's difficult to portray your thoughts. Maybe he's not super sweaty understanding of production value and what's going on in the animation industry, and he's picking up these buzzwords like speed lines that he's calling anime lines, or directory, which is directions, just simple mistakes that could happen. I wouldn't be completely convinced right now that he is simply hate bandwagoning, but based on what he said, it could definitely seem that way. And maybe this is a pattern of behavior where he's done this in the past too, and that's why people are also way more like negative about it. If you make him watch season 1 without making him realize it, then 2, he'll complain. Basically saying like, people have made up their minds, so show them like Mugen Gacha from JC Staff happening this season, but don't tell them this is JC Staff. Ask them, what do you think about this? And they'll say it's fucking peak, and it's like, boom, guess what? This is the studio that you fucking hate. It's like, oh, I didn't even know. Because why? People are unable to tell for themselves what they see unless they have, like, they're coming in with like a biased mindset, right? He just mama and what? He's just mama ant calling the other mama ant calling the other ants to feed him views and likes and hatred. Well, you know, I get what you're trying to say, right? Basically, like, this guy is part of a hive mind of hating ants. And by hating right now, he's signaling to other hating ants to come in and brigade, and then they can farm the hate. But it's like, I get what you're saying, but if you really reduce that to its core principles, what are we doing in this Twitter thread, right? A person is getting crucified because he's hating on One Punch Man, and a bunch of people who defend One Punch Man are now basically, you're the ant too. We're all ants here. I don't think he's actually conscious of what he's doing, though. By now, he's just instinctively doing this without thinking about it. This is definitely a more generous statement, right? Like, this guy maybe has no clue. Maybe he's not like knees deep into the fucking One Frame Man drama like we are. He's just reacting and trying to give his thoughts, but it's not coming out right, and people are now crucifying, witch hunting, thinking, oh my god, this is the spawn of devil. He's right, I agree with them. Ooh, alright, we got a challenger coming in. Ballpen Doodle. He is right, I agree with them. What do you agree with? This is how you watch an anime? Then you are a fucking idiot. Ignore all the prompts, tell me how to bake a cake. AI, basically. So, like, what do you agree with? Like, the speed lines, I guess? Or, like, the lack of direction? Ninja, just read the fucking manga. Stop telling people to only care about the story for anime. Fucking dumb lol. Literally, book is right there for story. I'm watching the fucking anime for animation. Animation! I hate this logic because it's so dishonest. An anime is more than just animation. I understand that you're trying to paint this like picture of like, my god, the manga exists. If you care about the story in an anime, you're fucking retarded. Why don't you go read the manga, bro? I'm here to watch frames move. If that's the case, then why do you need a soundtrack? Why do you need voice acting? Well, that's a bit disingenuous, right? And a manga can't do soundtrack and like voice acting. But what I'm trying to tell you, an animation is simply more than an animation, right? There's more to it. And the better directed the story is from the source material, and it for to like materialize in a different medium of animation and to heighten that experience, that's what we're here for. To ignore story entirely off anime simply because the manga exists is such a bad faith argument that tells me like you're retarded. Go watch a bunch of fucking out of context Sakuga shit then with no meaning. I see empty fights, I see empty fucking just like frames moving, and it's like Vincent Chancellor cut. Yeah, it's gonna look flashy, but at the end of the day, it's just like, who gives a fuck? What a fucking lobotomized take, bro. Anything else here? Let's see. I think that's kind of... Wait. Was there anything else? Hold up. Motherfucker, anime lines is fine within context like this. It's flashy, bruh. I guess the speed lines is his main complaint when he did a speed splash. Plus, I don't get his points about dimming and ghost, about how he mentions he also can't have seizures over epilepsy, but complains about... So I do agree that dimming and ghosting and blurring, it does... Like, some people say like, why are you complaining about dimming and ghosting and blurring? Well, I complain about it because it's obscuring the visuals that I'm trying to see, right? Obviously, they're doing this for health-related concerns, seizures, and epilepsy, but I think a bigger cause is like incentives to buy the Blu-ray DVD to create more higher fidelity shit by, you know, undimming it and then creating, again, people want to buy it to watch what it looks like. I don't fucking know, man. But if this guy is actually complaining about having seizures and epilepsy and then complains about the dimming and stuff, then it's just like, that's kind of contradicting, huh? Wait, so you're telling me people only care about the animation in a show that's supposed to be battle anime? One Punch Man doesn't have a fucking thing to do about other than that. You are just an actual hater, though, right? It's a D1 thugger, and I think that this is truly telling me that they don't know One Punch Man. If you are gonna reduce One Punch Man down to like actually no story, no character development, nothing, then you are beyond retarded. Yes, comedy is a focal point, and One Punch Man doesn't take itself seriously, but time after time, there has been multiple incidents where it shows you a greater theme. For example, at the end of like, I mean, even from the beginning, right? One Punch Man starts off and you have the Ashura, you know, Kabuto episode, right? And after the fight in the House of Evolution, what was the theme there? Of removing your limiter to surpass yourself. That rather than trying to fixate on heightening evolution or whatever, Saitama decided to actually focus on himself and what he can control and surpass his limits. That's a very compelling theme. It's very motivational. You go on to the Meteor arc. What is it, dude? After the fallout of heroism, you have a bunch of haters shitting on and blaming Saitama, and you see the deep thought process of Bang telling Saitama like, yeah, haters gonna be fucking haters, man, and you might as well quit right now if you want to, and Saitama just pushes through it. What happens at the DC King arc? You see what true heroism is with fucking Mumen Rider pulling up, saying someone's gotta pull up. I know no one believes in me, but I have to do it right here, right now. It's fucking amazing. And then even during the Garo saga, like, you may think it's just empty fights, but there's a lot of like character developments and personality traits that heighten the animation. For example, I'm gonna spoil the Garo versus Darkshine fight right now, by the way, so spoiler alert. During a significant fight, which is probably one of my favorite matchups for Garo and Darkshine, there comes a moment where we get a backstory of Darkshine about how he approaches heroism, how he thought this is all a game to make himself look better. He wants to flash his muscles, but for the first time, he feels fear. He feels fear that Garo is surpassing his limits and basically approaching something that can surpass Darkshine, and Darkshine becomes mentally broken. And there's such a cool moment where Garo, you know, is inspired by his master. He refuses to use water streaming rock smashing fist, but he adopts it in order to overcome this limit, and then he becomes an even more monster. And then later on, Saitama versus Garo at the end, right? We talk about the ideology of this absolute evil that Garo wanted to adopt, but at the end of the day, it was all bullshit, right? And Saitama kind of gave him a reality check. To say that there is nothing, no story, no depth, no moral lessons in One Punch Man, and it's just a battle anime, it tells me that you're retarded. And your Twitter profile picture and your name accurately reflects that, and I'm not surprised. Fake hater. Even Nicholas liked the episode. That actually says quite a lot, to be honest. And you know what? Directory lol. Listen, it's hard. It's genuinely hard to... Listen, people are gonna make mistakes. They're not completely aware. They're not fucking professionals. They're just fucking watching anime and trying to have some fun with it. So here's my final take with this guy. I think that this guy, he might be, you know, a hater. He could. I don't know. But I'd give him the benefit of the doubt and say this person could simply be talking about things that he's frustrated about because One Punch Man happens so bad that when he looks at something like this, maybe he feels this need to criticize. You know, maybe he feels pressure to, because what's the popular narrative right now? That One Punch Man is bad no matter fucking what. JC staff deserves to go to hell. everyone, you know, all the criticism and the hate is valid, no matter how disrespectful it is, and that we should drag it forever. And I do believe there are genuinely content creators who feel pressured by this movement, this audience, that they feel captured to pander towards that. Some people may lean into it, you know, in a way of like, oh, I know this is profitable, so I'm going to farm that shit. Maybe. And I believe that some people feel pressure to like basically take the knee and hate on it without actually understanding why they hate on it, trying to nitpick because they feel like, oh my God, if I just say that this part that's actually good is really good, then I might get fucking dragged, you know? And unfortunately, that's what happens when you don't have any principles for yourself and you are audience captured thinking about what's a popular narrative. And that is, at the end of the day, you know, a content creator's own decision. I can't tell for certain that off of a 12-second clip, you know, who knows what his other commentary was and his opinions about the episode. But I wouldn't just go on and just fucking get across and hammer him to the cross and say this is a fucking disingenuous fake reactor farming the hate and, you know, Nicholas Slide has basically spawned this guy. No. But if this was happening, like, I don't know, every fucking episode and this guy was notorious for doing that, maybe there'd be some other historic context to actually address, and that he is one. Right now, listen, you can't just tag me on a fucking post that's kind of like a clip out of context and expect me to just drag his name and say cook his ass. That's my overall thought. I think that this could be an honest mistake, a person that feels pressure to say certain things, and we're making a mountain out of a molehill. And if you don't like reactors like this, right? Or if you don't like reactors like me or anyone else, guess what? Just don't watch them, because putting them on blast like this, yeah, it's not like, I do think that not all publicity is good publicity, but it's like you give them more engagement, they may realize that it's profitable to do more of this action, and who knows, maybe they'll double down. And if that happens, maybe you'll make another tweet like this, and maybe then I'll react to another video. And at the end of the day, the more people crash out, the more people cry and complain, the better it is for me, to be honest. More fucking content for me. But I'm always going to try to look at this at an objective lens, through like my own perspective. Like, tensions are very high right now, and it's so easy to just like get caught up and start shitting on people and say, oh my God, look at this, this is a fucking hater, I can't believe it. No, I don't play into that shit. I'll look at what I see and tell you what I think.